Hi everyone. Today I would like to talk about a class called ArrayList. This class can be found in the java.util package. As I mentioned from the previous video, the difference between built-in array or one-dimensional array and ArrayList is that ArrayList is a resizable array, meaning you can add, you can remove elements from the array list, but a normal array or a one-dimensional array, you cannot. But if you want to modify the array, you need to create a new array. So if you want to learn more about a built-in array or a one-dimensional array, please check my previous video. In that video, that's where I demonstrate as well how it works. And I talk about the advantage and disadvantage of the one-dimensional array. Now, let me demonstrate how an array list work. So basically, um, an array list is part of the collection framework. So, um, so there are two ways to instantiate an object of an array list, right? So I'll show you the because of it's a class, so you can create an object of the class. So let me just demonstrate. So you can do this. So you can say array list. So now, how an array list work is that after mentioning the class name, then there are this greater than, less than brackets. So inside this bracket, so you need to put um, the data type of the type of elements that this array list is gonna store, right? So now I'm just gonna say string. I'm just gonna store string elements. And then I'm gonna say the array list object here. I'm just gonna say array list object. Then I'm going to say equals to, and I'm going to say new, and then enter, and then close the statement. So basically, you can create an array list like this, right? It 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 it, it works perfectly. It's fine. It doesn't have issues. You can see. I'm just gonna demonstrate. I can add, I can add an element. I can say here. Uh, I can say here. Um, can say John. Can say John. I can add another one here. I can say Theo, and then I can add another element. I can say Freddy, let's say, right? And then now, so um, I can if let's say I want to display if I want to display these elements, I can do it. I can use a for loop here. I can say um, for, then I can say because of the elements are of type string, I can say string here, and then I can say name, and then I can say from from this list here, right? Then I can say system. So I'm just gonna display it system dot out print um, uh, print print what print name. So basically I'm just showing you like you can instantiate an array list like this, right? So I'm just gonna run it. It's gonna show three elements: John, Theo, and Freddy. You can see, right? Um, or I can do this, or I can remove this. So basically it works, right? Or I can say I can say array list dot get, and then I can get element number two, and then um, say system dot out dot print. So I can do this. I can do this. So I'm gonna access Freddy. It's I'm gonna display Freddy. See, check here, right? Or I can remove, or I can remove an element. Um, okay, let me do this. Let me do this. Okay, okay. Before, let me just do undo and then bring back the for loop. I just wanna show you what's gonna happen now. Bring back the for loop. But before I print out, I'm gonna say array list dot remove. I can remove an index. I can remove an index. Let's remove index 1. Let's say let's remove index 1. So it means um okay, before, no, let me do this. Let me just cut this, and then I'll display all three here. Then after display, I'm gonna remove one, and then I'm gonna display again. So I just want to show you, um, when we say an array list is resizable, you can add, remove dynamically. So that's how it's been done here. So now, basically, I can do this here. I can say, so this for loop will display all three elements, and then I'm gonna remove element one, which is Theo, because of an array starts with index 0, 0, 1, 2. Then I'm gonna remove one, and then I'm gonna display all of them. So it means it's gonna display, the program will display John and Freddy. So let's see. So let's run it. Oh, okay, let me just put the space. Let me just put the space, an empty space here. I'm just gonna put empty, then run the again. So you can see the first for loop displays all of them, then the second displayed only two elements because of this line here, line 14. That's where we removed. So this is the resizable or a dynamic, like, that's why they're saying it's dynamic. It's a dynamic array because you can add, remove um, elements in an array list without recreating the array again. So this is one of the benefits. But now, um, so now, but before I explain the drawback regarding this adding and removing of elements in an array list, so let me show you another way of instantiating or creating an array list object. So remember, this is um, this is a class, right? So this class has its own, like, um, methods that are defined. That's why you can see add, you can see remove, you can. So there are other functions that are being implemented in this um, array list class, right? So now, but but just to follow the standards, let's say the OOP standards, right? So let's not create an object like this and access those methods like that. So now let's follow the standards whereby let's access the method via an interface. So there is an interface called list. So that interface is part of the collection as well, collection framework. So the list is an interface, and its implementation is it's an array list, right? So let me just show you. So now, instead of doing this, saying array list here, right? So let's instantiate this array list object via a list. So I'm gonna remove array list here. So as you can see now, right? It's complaining, so because of it needs me to what to import the class. Let me see. So now you can see now. So um this a list, let me just hover over it so we can see list is an interface. You can see from here it's an interface, right? So it's an interface, and now the array list is a class that implements the methods of the list, right? So so now when we do it like that, it means we are not accessing the, the add method, remove methods, and other methods directly via the actual object. So we are accessing those methods via an interface, right? So it means we are hiding the implementation of the method via a list. So in the real scenario, like in the working environment, so that's how we normally um, instantiate an array list. So it means you access it via a list. So you're gonna say list and then data type and then obviously the object, and then after the equal sign, that's where now you say a new array list, meaning you want to implement, you're implementing basically the list. So it means now you can start using um, your list object. So basically this line, it works the same as that one, it's just that now we're through the list, we're just hiding now the implementation. We're not accessing it directly via an object, an actual object of array list. So now I can run it. If I'm sorry for that. So I'm gonna run it. So once I run it, check. Once I run it, so once I run it, it's gonna behave the same. Like it's still the same, as you can see. It is still the same, still output, still everything, right? So yeah. So but now going back now to the drawback of an array list to add and remove elements, right? So it means, okay, right now, because of these elements, we only have three elements, let's say, in the array list, right? So you won't see much different in terms of like performance, right? But now, if let's say you're gonna store about maybe, I don't know, 1,000 elements, let's say, 1,000 elements, 500 elements, I don't know, whatever, but a big amount of elements, right? So if you add, remove elements in an array, right? So it means um, how the array list behaves in the background is that now, if let's say, okay, let me just, I'm just gonna do like a comment here. Um, this comment I'm just gonna say here. I'm just gonna do as if like I'm doing a list, like an array. So let's say we've got um, 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 let's say we've got, okay, let me just be practical. Let's say we've got um, um, a list of integer values, let's say, right? So let's say we've got one, two, three, four, and five, and six, let's say. Let's say we've got 6 elements, right? So it means on the background, right? If let's say now I want to remove element number, okay, element number three, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. Let's say I want to remove this element, right? Which is number three. So it means how it works is that I'm just gonna put it here. So how it works is that, so now the array list will remove element 2, right, which is number 3, value 3. Then 4, 5, 6, they're gonna shift to the left. So meaning all of them. It's not like now only one element is gonna be affected. So all the elements will be affected, right? So it means now um, it's gonna behave like this. Let me just try and demonstrate. Let's say one, let's say two, three, four, five, six. Let's say. So now let's say you remove this. Let's say you remove this element here, right? You remove three. So it means these three elements on the right hand side, four and five and six, will shift, all of them. So it means you by removing one element, you are affecting all of the elements that came after. right? So it means 4, 5, 6. So this will shift here, this will be moved, then 5 will come here, and then 6 will come here, and then this element, this index will be removed there. Like that's how it's gonna be like. Right? So you can see. So if you've got about 1,000 or 10,000 or a large amount of elements um, that are part of the array list, so it means if you remove one element, it means all of the right hand side elements will all shift to the right, right? So you, you can think about it. So the amount of time that's gonna take um, for for your program to complete its task, because of now it's shifting everything, so it is gonna consume a lot of time, right? So even if you add, let's say I wanna add, let's say um, I'm saying I wanna add um, um, let's say I wanna add an element um, anywhere, like let's say maybe I select, I say now I want to add an element after 3. Let's say I want to add another element here. Maybe I'm just gonna say 7. Let's say, right? So so it means by adding an element as well. So in a particular index, right? So it means all the elements, all the elements, all the elements in your right hand side, they're gonna shift to the right now, because of now they're gonna create um, a space for 7 to be added, and then 4, 5, 6 will move as well, so that because of now we're gonna need an extra element or index in this array. So it is gonna consume a lot of time if you are dealing with a lot of data, let's say in an array list. But but if it is small, like you're dealing with small amount, it's okay. But if you know that you'll be querying data from database, you don't know how, like you don't know how many records will be returned. It can be 1,000, it can be 10,000, like 100,000, something like that, big amount, let's say. Then um, an array list is not basically um, the suitable array um, that you can use. You know, so there's another class called uh, um, um, linked list class that I will demonstrate in my next video, just to show you how does it. Okay, okay. The array list basically it's a dynamic array. It uses a dynamic um, uh, way of dealing with elements in an array, right? But the linked list it uses another mechanism which I will explain in my next video. So please just subscribe and follow me, and then you'll be able to get the latest videos that I post. So, but basically, this is how um, um, you can instantiate an array list. You can add elements, you can remove elements, you can access a specific element. Um, you know, um, yeah, no. So obviously, you can also try and play around with like other methods, like you can see that is contains, that is clear, that is, you can just play around with these other functions that come with this class. So, but in a nutshell, this is how an array list work, right? So it's a dynamic array. You can add, remove elements at will. You don't have to recreate the array list. Um, um, yeah. So basically, that's the difference between a one-dimensional array that I posted on my previous video, and a collection class called ArrayList. So hopefully, this video will help you understand what is the difference between a normal array and an array list. and what are the benefit of an array list and what are the drawbacks of an array list. Even though it's a dynamic array, there is drawback, especially if you're dealing with large amount of elements, because of adding and removing, and then it means all the elements will be shifted. It's either to the left or to the right, depending on the or on what you have done or what you want to do with the list. So on my next video, I will show you a linked list, uh, the benefit of the linked list as well. I thank you.